Hi, and welcome back to another Reddit story. Today's is all about dun 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 those dreaded co-workers.
Mm-hmm.
So, have you ever had one of those?
Just a one or two.
Yeah, well, I guess we know with you hate working for people and having co-workers, so
Yep, that's what I for
you
myself.
probably hate them all.
Pretty much.
I've actually been quite lucky. Other than maybe a co-worker coming in grumpy or something, and then they get over it the next day, I haven't had too many bad co-workers, so
No, you've
yeah.
been pretty lucky.
You'd probably like to knock a few of them in the head.
Yeah. Been a couple that wouldn't mind dropping.
I guess we've all had them. Yeah, I guess the worst that I've had is just jobs I haven't enjoyed.
Pretty much.
Co-workers can't really.
There's been a lot of jobs I don't
I guess I like too many. I'm not a hater. I find it hard to hate people. You're keeping your mouth shut there. Yes.
So you can't hate people. You can hate them, but you just don't like confrontation. So
yes.
you don't
Okay.
you
The
don't
conflict.
say anything.
Yes.
You just leave it
That's
be.
probably it.
I don't like it either, but
Sometimes it has to happen, doesn't it?
yeah.
All right. Well, why don't we get into our first story?
Yeah.
So, this one is from Am I the Arsehole? There's
Yeah.
plenty of them. Okay, am I the arsehole for calling out my co-workers a borrowing habit?
Depends, is it borrowing or stealing?
Yeah. I, 28 male, work in a small office with a close-knit team. We all get along well, except for a borrowing habit of my co-worker, Lola, 30, female. Here's the issue. Lola constantly borrows my stuff, stapler, highlighters, even my lunch ones, though she sheepishly replaced it.
Okay, hang on. How do you borrow someone's lunch?
She sheepishly replaced it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God. I get it. Small things happen. But it's become excessive. My stapler goes missing. I find it on a desk. I bring a new pack of pens. Half are gone by the week's end. The other day, I brought in a Pacific coffee mug, a limited edition one from my favourite band. It wasn't dishwasher safe, so I hand washed it and left it on my desk to dry. I came back from a meeting and it's gone. I see Lola using it at her desk. I calmly asked for it back, explaining it's very special to me. She apologised and said she'd be careful, but I was firm. I told her I needed it back because it wasn't something I wanted to risk getting damaged. She got huffy, claiming I was being dramatic and that it was just a mug. I told her it wasn't just a mug to me and that repeatedly taking things without asking was inconsiderate. She stormed off and now everyone's giving me the silent treatment, implying that I'm overreacting. So Reddit, am I the arsehole for calling out Lola's borrowing habits, especially over just a mug?
Well,
To some people, I guess just a mug is just a mug.
yeah.
But there is, to other people...
Depends if you can't get them anymore. It's not like it's just a mug from the local
there might
shop.
be a million out there, but to her, that's special.
Him, isn't it?
Oh, him, sorry. And
Yeah.
he did ask politely. It wasn't like he snatched it back or anything. He just asked her to stop using it.
You just shouldn't buy a pack of pens every week and half of them are gone. That's just stupid. Why can't you do that?
I'd just yeah, exactly. I'd just
I'd
give me
start-
the money for him. Come on.
I'd just start borrowing her stuff all the time.
But there is people out there, I guess, that just love borrowing things instead of buying their own.
I don't think he's the arsehole.
Nah, me neither.
I think he's got to the point where he's just fed up with it and gone, nah, this is just too much now. He's starting to take my personal things, like why the hell, surely there's mugs at the office. He's just grabbed his own from home or whatever, that's personal, and she's gone and used it too.
He must make some nice lunch for her to want to steal that as well.
That one's got me.
And she replaced it. At least she replaced it.
Yeah, well,
God, come
always
on.
look at the bright side, eh?
You got to look at the bright side of life sometimes, don't ya? But no, I think he was just biding his tongue. He was dealing with it until it just...
Yeah, but how long was he dealing with it for? It doesn't
Yeah.
say.
No.
If it's been years or something, even months, you'd really start to get over it.
Oh,
this
yeah,
is
you'd
beyond
get
a
pretty
joke.
frustrated, wouldn't you?
Oh, it's not a joke anymore.
All right. Let's see what
other
our
people think.
Redditors have to say.
Oh, God.
First one, which is what I thought. Not the arsehole. It's time to get it in writing. Send her an email, calm and factual, that she's been borrowing your personal items and that will no longer be accepted to you. This will lay the groundwork before it escalates.
Yeah, probably a good way to do it is throw some paperwork in there. It's basically
So
like,
if it goes to the head people,
the head office gets it or whatever, the boss gets it. It's like, well, I've asked her and, I've sent her an
spoke to
email.
her. Yep.
She keeps borrowing my shit.
And someone's like, and make the email sound very professional and official so she knows it can be used against her later. I would also list dates and items that she has stolen as examples.
Yeah.
You're not always going to remember the date. You just know she done it.
Just all the items. And for instance, the pens. I'm buying pens, nearly every week, and half of them go missing from it. Maybe she's got a crush on him.
Oh, never thought of that.
Maybe she's got a thing for him, and he obviously doesn't for her, and he's like, piss off.
Well, someone's like, she's been borrowing, and then underneath the email should say she claims to be borrowing, but is taken without permission, which is stealing.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Exactly. I call it what it is, stealing. If she tries to claim she was just borrowing it, OP should ask when she asks for permission, because they don't recall that. Borrowing also implies she intends to use something and give it back. I was just thinking that as I was reading it.
Yeah.
So OP should ask for everything back that she has ever borrowed. Every single pen, highlighter, and post-it pad.
Yeah.
Wonder who she's probably, you know what? She's probably got this drawer full of all this stuff. She'd be like, yeah, all right, I'll give it back. Opens this drawer and you've got all these stuff just inside the drawer.
Yeah, it's probably she's at a desk with a big drawer full of
little
crap.
hoarder,
Yeah.
magpie. I wouldn't say borrowing. She has been taking your personal items. Yep. Don't say borrowing. That requires asking and consent. Say that she keeps repeatedly taking your items without permission. These include personal items you purchased and bring in, like your lunch and a coffee mug. Yeah. I mean, they're lucky OP hasn't burnt the building down.
Okay, that's probably a little bit extreme.
I brought my own red swing line stapler for my desk. No one touches it. Okay. What is swing line stapler?
Must be a brand, but must be a good stapler.
Yeah.
Mustn't break.
Stole his lunch too. She's an animal. I guess you could flip it and look at it the other way. Maybe for no one knows, she could be struggling financially. Yes, she has a job, but she may be struggling. She might have a lot of other expenses and just struggling. I don't know.
Maybe she's selling them.
Maybe. Has a little
vending machine.
Or a little stall on the corner.
Sunday mornings, all these office supplies for sale.
Yeah. So your co-worker steals from you constantly. Start taking things from her desk or loudly. As for your items back, I mean, everybody starts getting after you for that. Say, well, link to someone else, fund her office works because she keeps taking mine, or pay a little bit and get a bunch of pens that are engraved or printed with stolen from the desk of OP's name, and when she takes them, pointing out, can you please read the inscription? Not the arsehole.
Yeah, I don't. They're not the arsehole. They've just got over it.
There's no point in marking the items. She doesn't care that they are identifiable as his. The mug was clearly his, and she doesn't deny taking his things. For some reason, she's concentrated on taking his things. In his desk closet, does she have a crush? Ha!
Yeah.
You got that one. Does she hate him? Does she get the biggest reaction from him? I'd silently go clean desk for a while and see what happens. Be surprised to everyone. Maybe bring in cookies and put one on everyone's desk, including hers, to show you're not treating her differently.
Yeah, well, that's another thing too. Yeah, help out, do something like that for everyone or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they're all going to be like, oh, okay. And then they're going to realise it's her.
Yeah.
She's just continuously stealing his stuff.
Report to HR. Someone's replied, someone's like, does she have a crush? So I think it was a reply to the one I just read. I was wondering the same thing. Maybe this is her not so subtle way of getting OP to pay attention to her. Not quite the way to go about it, but still. And is OP the only one she's stealing from? That would be another check mark to me that she's trying for your attention, positive or negative. And that's true, but that's like schoolyard shit.
It is. It's like a schoolyard thing.
That's how you get the boys' attention, or the girls. You pull their hair and run away, or
It's like even younger kids.
Kindergartners.
They look for attention, positive or negative. As soon as you're talking to them, whether they're in trouble or not, it's attention.
Oh yeah.
They want attention.
But
she's like that.
If she does, she is a bit. But if she does have a crush, it's schoolyard stuff like trying to get the attention of your crush.
Oh, it's got me. This is weird. Anyway, was it deemed the arsehole or not?
No, of course not.
I didn't think so.
There's no update or anything. It was 85 days ago. It's just the OP did offer the following explanation for why they think he may be the arsehole. I might be perceived as being petty or inflexible over something minor like a mug. Yes and no, like...
Depends, it could be a $40 mug from a concert or something that you can't just
it's
go and replace.
Band, so yeah, that's it.
Like you travel across the country, or like if it's in the US, which I'm guessing it is, the next time they're performing somewhere across the band, across the other side of the country, you can't just go throw the money at that to go buy the mug, which could very well have the date of the concert and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, well, that's it. It didn't explain the mug. It just said the favourite band. Yeah. But anyway...
Oh, it could be a cheap one from bloody Kmart. You wouldn't know.
He was obviously damn not the arsehole, which I agree with. And, well, that's all for this story, I think.
Yeah, I think we've definitely agreed that he's not the arsehole.
Yeah. All right. Next story. Okay, so yet another one from Am I the Arsehole?
There's one thing I've noticed is a lot of stuff is I'm out of the arsehole.
Yeah. They either are or they're not.
Well, yes, but I'm just saying.
Alright, am I the arsehole for throwing away my co-worker's sweater? It depends.
Well, even then, it's like hand it off to the boss or something. And if you are the boss, just give it back to them. You don't go throwing it out.
Yeah. It's probably a bit silly.
And if you damaged it, you tell them and say, I'll replace it.
Probably a bit petty, but, well...
This is almost like a petty revenge thing.
Yeah, well, let's find out. My co-worker, 55 male, has a sweater that he wears every day at work and leaves in the office overnight. He never takes it home to wash, and over the last month it has developed a distinct smell. At first I tried to make innocuous comments to him. Do you smell something musty? Etc. But he didn't catch on, so last week I said to him, hey, that sweater is starting to give off a stench. Could you take it home and wash it? He replied, nah, that's not my sweater, and walked away, which effectively ended the conversation. After he left one night, I went to his desk and smelled the sweater and confirmed that nasty stank, and it was so putrid up close. I have no idea how he lives like that. So I took the sweater on my way out and threw it in a dumpster out the back. I kind of understand why he wanted to do it, but still.
Yeah, I was say, if you're working in a
couldn't deal with that smell.
If you're in a relatively enclosed space, and there's something like that, and if he's been wearing it for months, and then he's denying it's his, which is even funnier, but...
No, he wasn't denying. He's saying the smell wasn't coming from his.
And he said, that's not my sweater.
Yeah, meaning the smell, it wasn't his sweater that the smell was coming from.
Anyway, I can understand probably where OP's coming from, but we'll just...
See.
He may have gone too far.
Yep. The next day, he was looking around for it and asked everyone if they had seen it. I just shrugged and said, nah, haven't seen it today, which was technically not a lie. Wow.
Yeah, because I threw it out last night.
Yeah. I feel kind of bad, but I can't live like that. We work in a 7-person office with no HR, and our boss is not effective at dealing with issues. Do I felt like this was my only option? am I the arsehole?
Look, in the long run, probably yes.
I think so. It wasn't his to do it, but maybe the manager or whoever he was talking about maybe should get off his bum and deal with stuff like that. Yeah,
it's your job.
Before we move further on, there's a clarification. When he said, "That's not my sweater," he was referring to the stink, not being his sweater. The sweater was in fact his. He's a bit of an oddball, but I can't imagine even he would wear a random stinky sweater that he didn't own. That's what I thought he meant. The smell wasn't coming from his sweater.
How, wasn't he 55 or something like that?
Yep.
What if his nose is going on him and he can't smell it?
That's always a possibility.
Yeah, you just can't smell it, so you just ignore it.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll get into some comments.
Okay.
Alright, so ESH. Throwing stuff out that's not yours is shitty. Even if your boss is ineffective, this is something you should have attempted to bring to them.
Yeah.
But I also don't know why this guy is wearing a stinky sweater that doesn't belong to him and then is mad when an item that doesn't belong to him is missing. See, people got a bit confused
with that, like
when he said it wasn't. I interpret that as him saying that the smell was not from his sweater, not that the sweater was not his. You could twist it into Guy says his sweater doesn't stink, the sweater stinks. Since Guy said his sweater doesn't stink, then the stinky sweater must not be his.
Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah, I think this is a case of justified arsehole.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a different way of thinking about it. OP shouldn't have thrown away property that doesn't belong to her, but honestly, if he said it wasn't his sweater and it stank up the entire office, I'm not sure I can 100% blame her here. She likely did everyone else a favour. So yeah, people are still were a bit confused until that clarification. But
the office probably smells better now.
Well, that's another way of thinking about it, isn't it? But someone actually did say, "You're not the arsehole. You should have put it in a plastic bag and later spoken with your manager about it. You don't throw away people's belongings." Sorry, I read that wrong. You're the arsehole. So he reckons he should have put it in a plastic bag and spoke to the manager about
Probably
it.
that would have been the best way to go. And then say, "Hey, boss, smell this. This is such and such as bloody jacket. It stinks."
And then they go and put it on the manager's desk with a note for him to handle it. I think he'd probably handle it then, not wanting to be around that smell.
Yeah.
He won't be ineffective then, will he?
No, maybe he'll get the job done. He'll manage a problem.
That's it. I've tossed a few Tupperware dishes from my communal fridge after a warning email was sent out. The Tupperware was gone stuff because it had sat for so long. I also once tossed an entire pizza box with mouldy pizza in it. The fridge wasn't big and the box took up half the space. Health hazards deserve to be tossed. OP, not the arsehole.
Well, that is kind of another thing. More so in that person's situation.
But I get it.
Food.
I'm kind of in both lanes here too.
At the moment I am.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any editor updates, but
I could not deal with the smell.
No.
Someone's like, "You're the arsehole. You say you work in a 7-person office. Maybe ask around and see if anyone else has a complaint. And if multiple complaints could convince him. It could have had sentimental value or something, but none, so it just wasn't yours. You stole and destroyed his property that was clearly somewhat important to him. You asked him directly one time and then went nuclear."
Yeah.
He could have asked him more for all we know. But yes, we do have a couple of edits here.
Ooh,
so, edit 1. I see a lot of people suggesting that I had other options, and the ideas being brought up are frankly asinine. Just spray some freeze and call it a day. Have you ever sprayed Febreze in a bathroom where someone took a dump? Then you know it just combines with the shit smell and almost gives it a sort of power up. Next. Actually, you know what? It's true. We have air freshener and when it's sprayed in that, I don't actually like the smell of it. It really, really,
It's very potent.
it's not the nice smell it's meant to be when it's mixed with people just freshly gone to the toilet. It's actually quite off.
It mixes and it's just...
Yeah, and that's what he was just saying. I get him there.
Yeah. So, it's alright if, it's in a room or something, there's a bit of a odd smell and you can't figure out why.
Yeah, but that usually won't overpower it. It's just them big smells.
No, they're very strong smells.
Yeah.
Like toilets and stuff. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah. Tell HR about it. Some people have trouble reading, it seems. I get him here because he did state there is no HR.
Yeah.
I already said it's a small office with no HR and our boss is incapable or unwilling to address situations like this. I did in fact bring it up to him and he said to find a compromise, such as allowing him to wear the sweater 3 days a week. Not a problem solver, this guy.
Hang on, but if he wears it 3 days a week instead of 5...
It's still gonna smell.
But supposedly he leaves it in the office at night.
Yeah.
So it's still going to be...
So
when everyone's gone from the office, the whole office is going to start to smell like that.
I think they need a new boss.
Yeah, well, that's another story.
Take it home and wash it for him. I don't think this one even warrants a response. I suppose I should ask the rest of the office if they have any laundry for me to take home so I can do it all at once.
Yeah, it's not your responsibility, though.
No, it's not. Okay, there's another edit. I see many people bringing up the legality of this and the police being called or this going to court. May I remind everyone, we're talking about a sweater. I'd love to hear how that 911 call goes. Officer, I need to report a missing sweater. Please send your forensics team out ASAP and track this lunatic down before the sweater thief strikes again.
Yeah, well... Oh, God, yeah.
Oh, God forbid I get taken to sweater court. I hope the Honourable Judge Cardigan takes pity on me and offers a reduced sentence if I do people's laundry while in prison. Get real, people. We're talking about office squabble, not grand theft sweater. You know what? He's got a bloody point.
Yeah, he makes a point like... You can't...
Like, seriously. Really, would the police be called over that? The police
I wouldn't personally have just thrown it out.
No.
But I would have definitely continuously had conversations like throughout the day and every day of the week until he took it home and got it sorted. Because you just say, well... And I would have gone to the boss every day and just said,
and I think that's... Yeah.
If he's only gone there a couple of times over a couple of weeks or whatever, it's not enough. If the boss isn't fixing it, you just keep annoying the boss until they do fix it.
Alright, some more comments. OP point blank told co-worker that the sweater was super stinky and co-worker blew them off. I have severe migraines that can be triggered by odours, not the arsehole. If co-worker wants to be stinky at home, that's his prerogative. But co-worker is not entitled to bring his stink to work.
No, that's exactly
That's
right.
true, because I remember in plenty of jobs I've had, one of the rules is to make sure you're well presentable and like wear a bit of deodorant and that, to avoid odour and BO and stuff like that.
Yep.
Because especially if it's a job where they have clients come in.
Yeah.
That's going to turn the clients
exactly
off wanting to be. They're going to lose clients.
Yeah. And, I mean, I work outside all day, but at the start of the day, I still make sure that I look presentable and somewhat trying to smell presentable.
Well, that's it.
Because otherwise, it doesn't help.
No. OP should grow some courage and say, yeah, I threw it out because it stank. Here's $50 for it instead of being a coward and pretending she didn't do anything.
That's another option.
The sneakiness of it is why both are at fault. Then someone's like, I'm a little hesitant to say that OP should have the integrity to own what they did. Just because this guy is clearly a little nuts, standing by your principles is great. But being confrontational with incredible, irrational people is often asking for trouble. Of course, it's probably obvious to the guy that OP did it anyway. So where could be trouble? So there could be trouble regardless. But I still don't think denying it necessarily makes OP an arsehole. Besides, if this guy gets to brazenly deny an obvious truth about an offence done to others, like my sweater isn't a biohazard, then it seems fair that OP should get to do the same by denying all knowledge of throwing it away.
Yeah, but two wrongs don't make a right either.
Yeah, well, that's it. And someone's like, this is dumb. If you leave moldy shit around an office, it is trash. End of story. She doesn't owe any explanation for throwing away disgusting things that are stinking up an office. This is no different than letting food mold in the staff fridge and then get upset someone did something about it.
Yeah, it's just...
Well, there's actually an update to this, so...
Yeah, right.
Let's see. Hey all, before the update, I just wanted to apologise for getting so defensive in my original post. I've been feeling really stressed about the situation and I think my guilt expressed itself as anger. Even though I still don't agree with the alternative actions people offered, I should have been more chill about it.
Probably.
So, the update. We have a Monday morning meeting every week. I had planned to pull my co-worker aside at lunch to tell him what happened and explain why I felt it was necessary. At yesterday's meeting, my co-worker took the opportunity during other business to bring up his sweater. He said that he felt disrespected and as multiple people have complained to him about the smell, he hasn't been able to narrow down his suspects. So he needs a full confession or he will be taking further measures. I thought about confessing, but to be honest, his eyes had a crazed look and it made me feel unsafe, so I kept my mouth shut. When no one said anything, he stormed out of the office. My boss predictably did nothing.
Well,
again.
Not much of a manager.
No, boss. So he obviously owns the place. A couple of hours later, he returned with a guy who he said was his cousin and a police officer. Though he was in normal clothes and had no badge or ID, he said his cousin was going to be interrogating people individually all day.
Yeah, good
At
luck.
this point, my boss finally stepped in and said that wasn't happening and brought my co-worker into his office. I don't know what happened in there, but it got loud towards the end and I didn't see him for the rest of the afternoon. I found out the next day he was fired. Not exactly the outcome I wanted, but it does solve my problem. Ooh.
Yeah, that's it's pretty sad.
It's probably the fact he brought someone in pretending to be a police officer and that as well.
Say, if he wasn't actually a cop, he's going to get in trouble for that because that's.
So that's a bit of a
that's breaking,
turnaround update, isn't it?
Yeah, but the person like there was a cousin.
Yeah, he brought his cousin in pretending to be a police officer.
That's illegal anyway.
Well, he might have been, but he didn't have ID or anything.
No ID, so we'll just say he's not, so that's illegal. So he's breaking other rules, and all this over a stupid jumper.
At least it got the boss to stand up.
Yeah, well, the boss should have done that a long time ago.
Yeah, I think so. It may not have got to this point.
I can't.
Well, this happened a year ago.
I don't think I've ever heard anything quite this ridiculous. I mean, I've read some weird shit and heard some weird shit on Reddit, but this is sort of out there.
If everyone's interested, he actually was deemed this lady was actually deemed the arsehole.
I think that's...
I
think that's kind of sad, actually, because it's just throw it out and leave a 50 on his note, on his desk. Leave a $50 note on his desk with a note attached to it saying,
do you know what it
is? Buy a new one, please.
If the boss stepped up from the beginning, it may not have got this far.
I don't know if it got thrown out. He might have just told him, look,
take it home.
Take it home and wash it, and you can wear it for another week. Once a week, mate, take it home on the weekend, wash it, and don't worry about it.
Well, if you're only wearing it during the day at work, you wouldn't think it'd get that stinky. Does he sweat a lot or something? You wouldn't think it would get that stinky anyway.
I watched a video the other day about clothing and that, like jeans. You know, if you ain't wearing them for a few hours, you should only wash them every 2 to 6 times.
Yeah.
Because you're just destroying them by putting them through a machine that much.
I guess everyone has their different ways, but
I don't usually do it.
I don't let something go as stinky.
Oh, if something's mine stank, I'd throw it straight in the wash.
Anyway,
I wouldn't be able to handle it.
I don't think there's much more to get out of this one. Except, well, he got fired. The guy doesn't have to deal with... lady doesn't have to deal with his stinky sweater anymore, and the rest of the colleagues don't either.
Oh.
And the boss actually stepped up. Maybe he'll step up more often now.
Well, next time someone has a complaint, I reckon maybe they will, because otherwise you're going to cause a big problem again.
Exactly. All right, well, let's just get on to the next one, eh?
I reckon.
All right. Okay, our next story is actually from the best of Reddit updates. We haven't had one of them yet.
No, it's been a while.
I don't think we have had one. Well, we might have had one.
Yeah.
I'm
I
sure.
thought we had one. Maybe not.
Alright. Am I the arsehole for ordering tequila shots for my work colleagues at Friday lunchtime?
Well, it kind of depends, doesn't it?
Depends how far they went, really, isn't it? I have actually read this one, so you'll be quite intrigued by it, I reckon. Alright, let's get into it. So, I, 26 male, work in a busy lab, medical diagnostics, and every Friday we go as a team, 6 to 7 people, to a local sports bar to have a team building lunch on the boss's company card. Yesterday, our boss was swamped with deadlines, but said the rest of us could go anyway as long as we pay for any alcoholic drinks ourselves. Usually the boss plus 1 to 2 other people will order a small beer with their lunch, so I have consumed alcohol on the clock before in this job. I was even thinking that without the boss there that I might order a big beer this time. When we arrived, though, me and my work bro, 25 male, were drawn to a new offer the bar had on tequila shots, 5 for $10. Wish they had them here.
I say it's not cheap here.
No, $10 for one, wouldn't it be?
Oh, because.
In our defense, we had just had a very stressful morning, so we proposed to the team that we buy a single round of shots to commemorate it. A couple of our colleagues were a little reluctant, but after a little convincing, we were soon toasting to a morning of hard work. That's when my work bro proposed we order a second round of shots.
God, yeah.
Yeah. I have a pretty high tolerance to alcohol, so it was no problem with me. I knew for a fact we have a couple of lightweight colleagues. For example, a diminutive Asian lady who rarely drinks, 23 female, but we still managed to convince the rest of the table to drink with us a second time. After that, the 2 females with us tapped out, but the 3 remaining guys, myself included, decided to split 10 further tequila shots. In our defense, as far as team building goes, the outing was a roaring success. I think I learned more about my colleagues in those 1.5 hours than I had in the last 2 years.
Probably did. That would have been saying anything.
Unfortunately, when we got back to the office, our boss could smell the tequila on my breath. My work bro very stupidly decided to be honest and told him that some of us had had 5+ shots of alcohol at lunch. My boss's face turned bright red and he told us all to go home immediately and that it wasn't safe for us to be working in a lab while inebriated. Yeah, they said it up top. I calmly explained to him that I in fact still felt very sober. I have very high tolerance, remember, but he wasn't having it. I'm genuinely worried about what's going to happen on Monday morning. The 2 female colleagues called me and my work bro assholes for taking it too far and getting everyone into trouble. I see their point of view, but on the other hand, we did have a really good time while at the bar. Help us out, Reddit. Who is the arsehole here?
Boss shouldn't have given him the card.
Well, he obviously thought he could trust him.
Didn't trust him again.
No, I think
that's a lot.
They're the arsehole.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's not just him. It's his idea. But his work bro agreed to it, and then they convinced everyone else. They all did it.
Peer pressure, eh?
Yeah, I'm guessing it was a fair bit of pressure on a couple of them that didn't want to do it, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, can't say I've ever heard of that happening before.
So this is a while ago. It was originally posted on the 25th of September 2021. So nearly 4 years ago.
That was right through COVID.
Yeah. Oh, just coming to the tail end of it. Yeah.
No wonder they wanted to drink.
Well, if they work in a medical diagnostics lab, maybe they'll try to help out with COVID, so it was getting stressful. Oh, yeah. This is a hard one. If it was the end of the day and you've done it, that's one thing, but lunchtime when you had to go back to work.
Lunchtime's where the problem is. If it was the end of the day, it would have been, all right, well, that's your problem. You've got to get home.
Obviously, they weren't driving heavy machinery and all that stuff, but depending what's in medical diagnostic labs, there could be other people's bloods. There's obviously needles. There's
all sorts of stuff. It's not as bad as operating heavy machinery.
Yeah. All right. Well, we might get into some comments.
What was the verdict?
The verdict was arsehole. Okay, so some comments. You're the arsehole. I'm pretty sure being inebriated while working in medical diagnostics lab is a felony. You should be thankful you weren't fired.
Well, see, I'm surprised they weren't fired.
You're the arsehole. 5 shots over 1.5 hours and returning to work in a medical lab. Frat days are over, bro.
Yeah, well, that's true. Frat days.
God, I can't even imagine wanting to take 5 shots, fully knowing I had to go back to the office. I would have been absolutely sloshed taking 5 shots in general, even if it was on a weekend night out with friends. Yeah, I reckon I'd be the same. I don't think I could handle 5. He reckons he's got a high tolerance, but
an hour and a half.
Straight alcohol.
In an hour and a half is a lot. If it was over 3 or 4 hours.
That's a bit different.
But yeah.
You're the arsehole, and the way you described your other co-workers is gross. Females, diminutive Asian, and work, bro. You need to grow up. That's
what was he, 26?
True. Yep.
Yeah, he's needs to mature a little bit, I think.
Yeah, and you're the arsehole. Expect to be fired on Monday.
Yeah, probably.
What else have we got? Literal definition of giving an inch and having a mile taken instead. OP probably would have been fine with just 1 single round for the table and calling it. Talk about running something good because, lol, men drink. Unless he's done a postgrad and is newly working, I cannot for the life of me understand how he thought this was appropriate behaviour, especially in a job like that.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. And thinking he'd be able to just go back to work.
And then someone's got, nah, one small beer with lunch is totally the same as chugging 6 tequila shots. Even if he had taken just 1 shot of tequila, it is possible that his boss would have smelt it. That shit is strong. It is.
It's pretty strong stuff.
My sister used to like it, and I remember not long after I turned 18, they had some, and they gave me a try of it. Oh.
You can smell it.
You can, and I've never been one for tequila.
No.
It's a bit like vodka, I reckon.
Yeah, I don't like vodka much either.
No. I can drink vodka
with something else.
But yeah.
Not straight.
That depends on industry. I'm expected to cater and spoil clients. I've had to call my boss and say, hey, I'm done for the day. Drank way too much. By the way, we locked up this huge contract we've been chasing. If it were an internal lunch, I would have been fired on the spot. Yeah. Taking clients to eat means my expenses and alcohol ordered as pretty much unlimited. Eating with my colleagues, best be modest. Yeah. I think he's an arsehole. He felt sober though. I too have a high alcohol tolerance, but I'm still not downing 5 shots, which is crossed out and in brackets edit. My maths is wrong. 10 shots? The deal is 5 for $10. This fool and his friends went for 2 rounds when I have to work on stuff that requires accuracy.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Yeah.
It goes on. Everyone's going to have a story about drinking on their...
Yeah. No, wait. 5 shots for $10. 5 people on the team. 2 women, 3 men. They first did 1 round, then another for everyone. That's 2 shots each. Then 10 shots between the 3 men. So 3 and one of them would have 4 shots, bringing the total drinks to 2 for each woman, 5 for 2 of the men, and 6 for what I suppose would be OOP. Still a stupid amount of alcohol during work hours. Or it's possible I misread the last bit, whatever, too lazy to go back to check and spent too much time typing this on my phone to delete it. But as we all know, this is on the best of Reddit updates, so there has to be an update.
You'd think so.
Could you guess what you reckon the update would be about?
Getting fired.
Well, I'm sure a lot of you will be happy to know that me and my out-of-work bro got fired this morning.
Out of work. It used to be work bro, now it's out of work bro.
HR asked us why exactly we thought we could drink 6 tequila shots and then go back to the lab. All we could think of was that in college we used to work hard and play hard and it didn't affect our grades. They didn't like that excuse.
Yeah, so you still think about college years when they used to get away with it.
Well, if he's a technician in a lab, it probably took him a few years of college.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's only 26.
Well, he's been working there 2 years or something.
Yeah, something like that. Anyway, we were offered a plea bargain. HR accepted our resignation and promised a passing but not glowing reference for future employers on the condition we don't mention what happened to anyone ever again. I'm guessing they can mention it to each other.
Yeah.
I want to thank all those that commented on the original thread. I now accept that me and my work bro made a grievous error of judgment. We're not alcoholics, as some people suggested, but we're not in college anymore either. Personally, I will be laying off the hard liquor for a while to focus on rebuilding my career in medical diagnostics. And if in the future someone offers me a shot while I'm on the clock, I will say no thank you.
Good call.
So I think he learned the hard lesson.
He learned the hard way, right?
He learnt a hard lesson, I think. But he got fired and, yeah, I think he's regretting it now.
Well, like that person said, expect to be fired on Monday. I'm guessing that's what happened.
So this update, it says here 2 days later, so 2 days after he originally posted.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Probably posted it Saturday, went to work Monday and got fired.
Well, that's it. That's what they said. That's what he mentioned about going into work on Monday and getting probably, not sure what's going to happen. But anyway, he got fired.
No, you live and learn.
Yeah, I think you do. Wonder if he's got a job. It's been nearly 4 years. Guess we'll never know.
Could ask him.
Well, it does say you can't contact the OP. So
yeah, it's unfortunate. It would be nice, wouldn't it? Did you ever find another job after that incident with the alcohol?
Oh, God. Anyway, all right. Let's get on to the next question.
Next question.
Yeah. Let's get on to the next story.
All right.
All right. So our next one is, like always, I guess, from Am I the Arsehole?
Could have guessed that.
Yeah. Am I the arsehole for blocking my co-worker's number, causing her to get a write-up?
Depends.
It's always like that, isn't it, when you first read them? All right. Most waitress jobs have an app so you can see your shifts and pick up extra ones. You can see who else is working, what shifts, and can also send messages on this app. This is important for later. So at my last job, I allowed others to text my number so they can ask me to pick up shifts. This became annoying because I was the first person they asked and it was anyways an emergency. They would start using my number for personal conversations and it sometimes got messy because someone would vent to me and then try to continue the conversation in the workplace, causing drama to follow. So now at my new job, I've decided to keep my work and personal life separate and I would only communicate through the app. Now keep in mind I'm still really new to this place. I've barely been there a month and I've already had people texting my number. I'm not sure if they're getting it from the app or someone at the restaurant, asking me to pick up their shifts. Usually a quick, I don't communicate work matters through my number. Please send me a message through the app. Gets him to stop. Not this time. A co-worker texted me at 5 a.m. on Friday asking if I could take her shift for Saturday. I shot her the line I send everyone. She starts texting like, it'll only take a second. This way is just faster. I reiterate I will not communicate through my number and to message me through the app. She continues with, but you're already here and I've already asked, so just take my shift. Now I was already working that Saturday night, so not only is she asking me to take her shift, she's asking me to work a double. I send her the line again. She says that it's an emergency and that she needs me to cover her shift. I tell her I'm not discussing it any further and that I'm already working Saturday anyway.
Probably hungover.
Yeah. I then block her number. I go to work and am approached by a manager. She asks me why I didn't show up that morning. I'm confused, so she tells me that the co-worker said I had agreed to take the shift. I show her the messages. She says okay and goes to the back office. I get angrily approached by the co-worker on Monday about how I said I'd take the shift and now she has a write-up because I didn't show. She has a write-up for no call, no show. I told her I agreed to nothing and even told her I don't use my number to swap shifts. Conversation goes as, so, co-worker, but you said you'd work Saturday. Me, no, I said I already work on Saturday. Co-worker, then why didn't you say anything when I thanked you for taking it? Me, because I blocked you. I didn't even see the message. She starts going off about how I'm so rude and inconsiderate and she just needed me to take one shift. I told her it's not my problem she didn't get her shift covered, so I know I'm not the arsehole for not taking her shift, but did I take it too far when I blocked her instead of just answering through text?
I understand blocking her, especially when there's an app for work.
And she had asked her 4 times to message her through the app.
Message me through the app and then everyone can see the whole, because most likely it's a group message. Because someone else might have said, I'll do it. If you say, no, I'm sorry, I can't do it, someone else might say, oh, I can do it. But 5 o'clock in the morning, mate, the first thing I think
Friday morning, it wasn't Saturday morning, no, it was the day before, but it was the morning, the Friday, the day before.
Yeah, but Friday, 5 a.m. makes me wonder if she'd been out drinking Thursday, knew she wasn't going to be very good Friday anyway, and then Saturday, possibly still not very good, especially if it was a morning shift.
Yeah, it could have been that, or it could have been...
I mean, it could be an emergency.
But why leave it at the last minute? Unless, I suppose,
if it was an emergency or whatever, still, if someone says, do not contact me on my personal number, and go through a work app, and I can't because...
I'm already working that afternoon.
A lot of places won't accept you to do a double shift. Not in Australia. It's like, no, you've already done 8 hours or whatever today. Or
you can do double shifts. You just get good pay for it.
You get good pay for it, exactly. But a waiter.
A waitress, yeah.
Waitress. Here, you get your time and a half or whatever. Over in America, I don't even know if they do that for waiters.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
If you do a double shift as a waiter, that's a lot of standing up and wandering around.
I used to be a waiter. It's not fun.
Not for that length of time. It's a pain in the ass. Like, yeah, I don't think they're the arsehole.
And it's not like she just said it once and blocked her. She said it 4 times. And before she got over it, and that's why she eventually blocked her.
The thing that I'm confused about is she's, for some reason, thought that she said, okay.
Or she said, I'm already working Saturday. She didn't say,
I will work for you on Saturday. Yeah. That's a big difference.
Yeah, so she needs to read right, and she probably thought she'd get away with it because of the wording or something. I don't know.
Well, we don't have the exact messages.
All right, so OP's offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the arsehole. I think I may be the arsehole because I didn't have to block her, and if I didn't, I probably would have been able to clear up the misunderstanding and she could have got her shift covered in time. But yes, okay, but you blocked her after speaking to her 4 times. It's not like you...
Saying no 4 times, no means no.
Well, that's it. And, I've had, back at I'm on leave, but at the current job I have, when I first ever started there, we were able to swap shifts with each other.
Yeah.
But they soon took that out because it just got too messy and now we have to go through the manager.
Yeah.
If you can't work, you tell the manager and then they'll find a replacement.
Yep.
Because it gets too messy.
Yeah, it becomes a nightmare.
Anyway, all right. Not the arsehole. You told your co-worker 4 times to communicate through the work app. There's only so much you can do to get someone to understand when they just don't want to understand.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. And she was purposely being dense, someone said. Dense, or was she purposely not taking no for an answer as an answer? Well, when she was texting, she's like, just take the shift, like she was trying to demand it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're allowed to set boundaries to separate your work and personal life, not the arsehole.
I agree with that 100%.
Yep. That blows. Back in my service industry days, I learnt quickly never to say, try your best to find someone else first, but if no one else can, I'll do it. Because they wouldn't not try to find someone else, and then it was assumed I would do it. At one summer job, I had it got so bad that the manager said no one was allowed to ask me to cover their shifts anymore. I was working so many, I really needed to save up money for full semester, so I didn't mind too much. When you're working, you're not only earning money, you're not spending money. So I just kept focused on the positives. But the manager was hoping I'd stay on part-time once school started. I did, and was afraid I'd get burned out. Yeah. So, and that's the thing, if you say, I can take it if you can't find anyone else, of course they're not going to find anyone else.
No, they won't even look. They'll give it half an hour and say, oh, no one will take it.
It's just
and then when you go into work and say, I did such and such, try to contact you or all that sort of stuff, and they all go no. You say, well, they were meant to. They just
found a simple way out. Yep. Not the arsehole co-worker 100% did this to herself and deserved the write-up.
Yeah, I reckon.
It's not like she lost her job, just a written warning.
Yeah.
Not the arsehole. Your co-worker lied to management and just assumed you would be bullied into doing her work for her. After you repeatedly said no and she was trying to do it where there's less of a paper trail. Hugely unprofessional, fireable in my opinion. Yeah. Someone like that doesn't sound like a team player, but a bully who is only going to cause more issues in future and who has shown she'll lie to management to try to get her way and potentially endanger you and your job.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not the arsehole. How is everyone getting your number though?
That's a good question.
And then again, I guess if it's an app like WhatsApp, the numbers are there.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you can block them. I use it for my work, but I've never had to block it. I'm not sure. I think the numbers show up anyway.
You're not getting people contacting you all the time?
No. Not the arsehole. She didn't get a single positive reply from you that you would work. You repeatedly told her not to reach out on your personal phone and directed her to the app. All she had to do was go through the app. She wasted more time arguing than doing what she was asked. She chose to translate silence into agreement. The list goes on and on. Absolutely none of this is on you. You did everything right. It was your write-up if you went with it. Your manager saw the text and sided with you. She's an idiot for assuming any of that was you agreeing. She was trying to manipulate you and it backfired on her big time. Now she's trying to get you to think this is somehow your fault. Stay away from this one because those are huge red flags. Hopefully she'll get herself fired if she's that inattentive to something that's important to her. Let her hang herself on her own rope. Manager is aware, so she's probably lost trust there. Don't ever let her make you think she's right. She can blame you all she wants, but you have proof. If she or her friends on her behalf start any drama, show them the text.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Not the arsehole. You were very clear about not using your personal phone for work communications. She chose to ignore your boundaries. She got well-deserved consequences.
I think so. I think she got what she deserved.
Yeah. And as we probably could all tell by this, it was deemed not the arsehole.
I think in some ways, depending on certain businesses, a write-up, usually it's a verbal warning and then you get like two written warnings over here in most companies. Some places it's like you get one written warning and then that's it. The next warning isn't a warning, it's you're out the door.
Well, that's it.
So you can hope, I don't know when this was, but you can hope that they're gone. She doesn't. Yeah. She just doesn't deserve to be there.
No, that's it. And she does seem like a bit of a bully. But anyway, on to the next and our final story for the night.
Yeah, I reckon.
All right, so I think we've got a bit of a rhythm going here. I'm guessing all co-workers are just arseholes. because this is another one from Emma the Arsehole.
Oh, God.
So, alright. And it's a bit of a doozy. I actually haven't read this one personally, so it's going to be a surprise
Just
to me
the
what
title-
happens
title
here.
read?
Just the title. Alright, so, am I the arsehole for ruining my work colleague's wedding and getting them arrested?
Jesus. Ruining their wedding and getting
Get-
them arrested at the
What a-
same time.
Will be
That's,
a memorable wedding day.
Oh, I don't think you'd be worried about the wedding anymore. You'd be worried about contacting a lawyer.
I guess it's just like us. We have a pretty memorable wedding day of your young daughter thrown up everywhere all over you. Nice brand new suit.
Yeah, that was good.
I guess it's a bit better than being arrested.
I'd rather that than getting arrested.
I think I would too.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. The title sounds bad, but hear me out. I, 38 female, had 2 work colleagues, Mary and Adam, both in their late 20s, early 30s. Mary started in the company first and then she got Adam to join. They worked in different departments and Mary was in mine. Later, Mary left the company to pursue another career. When they started at the company, they were already married for a few years. Now, Mary is the kindest and loveliest person I've ever met. She was always polite, helpful, and would cheer anyone up. We missed her dearly, so it came to a shock when we found out she's divorcing Adam because he has cheated on her. I have called her to express how sorry I am that this has happened to her, and we were talking almost it says dapey, but I'm guessing daily, ever since.
Spell check.
Yeah. I was impressed how well Mary holds herself in such situations. She wouldn't badmouth Adam, and the only thing she mentioned was how her wedding dress and a few family heirlooms went missing when she was moving her stuff from their apartment. She thought they might be misplaced in a different box and will turn up eventually. A few years passed. I now work in the same department as Adam. He's a good work colleague but can be dismissive and ignorant sometimes. Adam invited me to his wedding with the lady, Chelsea. I'm guessing that's a fake name. He cheated on Mary with. As the entire department was invited, I said yes, making sure Mary is okay with this. I've also told her where the wedding will be. It's not too far from where she lives and we could go for some drinks after if she wanted to. On the day of Adam's wedding, I have noticed that Chelsea is wearing a similar dress that Mary wore in the photos of her and
See
Adam's.
where this is going.
Me too. Photo of hers and Adam's wedding years ago. So without thinking, I have snapped a picture and sent it to Mary with the caption saying, "Doesn't this dress look familiar?" Mary saw the message, but she didn't respond, and about an hour later, the police show up at the venue.
I knew it was going there. It's the same dress.
Yeah. I need to add, the police in our country is ruthless and any theft is considered a criminal matter. Wonder where this country is.
Don't know.
For the police to deal with. Police has asked Chelsea to take the dress and all the jewelry off. Chelsea refused and started arguing with them. And then Adam joined in. As they were rude to the police, they were taken to the police station. Everyone at the wedding had to leave. I have tried to call Mary, but she wouldn't pick up the phone. As we found out later, Chelsea was wearing Mary's wedding dress and her heirlooms. Mary spotted them on her in the picture. I sent to her and called the police. Apparently she has previously asked Adam if he had them and he declined, saying he never saw them. So after she saw the picture, she knew he was lying and stole them. Chelsea had to leave the wedding dress and jewelry at the police station and go home wearing her underwear and Adam's jacket after they were bailed out. Yesterday, Adam returned to the office and went completely mental at me, blaming me for sending a picture to Mary and ruining his wedding. He would also call me an arsehole for what I did.
I wouldn't. Wow.
Wow. I'd like to know what country that's in because I can guarantee if that was here, the police wouldn't have done much. That's what do they call it? A domestic dispute. It's not police matter.
They would have waited until after the wedding, probably.
And even then, they may not do anything. You got to deal with it.
Sounds like somewhere like South Africa or something.
I don't
somewhere.
know.
I don't know. Or
I don't know.
just one of those types of countries where the police do take just about anything
But in
seriously.
all honesty, I think the OP didn't think that it would escalate to that.
No, she's just sending innocent photos saying, "Doesn't this dress look familiar?"
I believe
and she's
that.
recognised the heirlooms and
I was
stuff.
about to say,
It's
I
not
think
just
that's
the
the
dress.
main reason.
It's the jewellery.
Yeah,
She's gone,
I
that's
think
my jewellery.
so.
You shouldn't be wearing that.
Well, OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be an arsehole. I might be an arsehole for having the bride and the groom be taken to the police station during their wedding day and ruining the wedding because I sent the picture of the bride to my friend.
Mm.
Yeah, but I don't think she thought her friend would do that.
Yeah, I don't think you can't blame her, and you can't blame the ex for it either. She did call the police, but she's gone, well, that's my stuff.
But
after a few years,
what I don't get is why. Why, when you're marrying someone, would you want to wear his ex's wedding dress?
Oh,
isn't it meant to be a fresh start? Like,
she probably couldn't care less.
I couldn't do it.
Yeah, but he was willing to cheat on her.
Yeah, but why would
and
you?
She was
that's a reminder, isn't it? Why would you want to?
Yeah,
that's just, to me, that's just...
It's weird.
That's weird. All right, let's read some comments.
Yeah.
Not the arsehole. I can't believe he would give his ex's wedding dress and family jewellery to his new wife to wear in their wedding. I wonder if the new wife was told where he got them. I'd almost guaranteed he made up a story about them being his family.
Yeah, I'd leave it money on it.
You know what? That was my thought too. Why would she agree to wearing a dress she didn't pick out? He must have told her it was a family dress or something. Yes, or she's just a psycho bitch. She was she was willing to cheat.
That's what I mean. She's willing to cheat, and
so it
she's
makes
willing
me
to wear
wonder,
it, so she could just be a nutcase.
Yeah, it makes me wonder. She picked it out of OP's closet. Who would want to wear the dress her fiance's ex wore? Obviously, it had bad juju.
Yeah.
I did read another Am I the Arsehole where the ex-husband's new wife-to-be asked, then demanded the ex-wife's dress to marry the ex-husband in. I unfortunately can't remember what the Am I the Arsehole was though, so there must be... Okay, there's some psychos out there, isn't there?
Yeah, how can you demand to wear the ex's dress? Because it belongs to her. You can't go up to her and say, hey, I want to wear your wedding dress.
Yeah.
It's like, no, that was mine. Unless you throw it and say, yeah, you keep it, and it's got bad juju.
Yeah, pretty much. Someone's like...
You wear this and guess what's going to happen? You're going to end up divorcing in a few years' time, so go for it.
Pretty much. Someone's like, Adam is a loser and a criminal.
Yeah.
And incredibly stupid. The chances of one of the ex-co-workers being still in contact with his ex are so huge, especially in times of social media. Yeah. It would have taken one Insta post seen by the ex for this scheme to blow.
Well, I think either way, even if it hadn't been on the wedding day, there would have been photos. She would have seen a photo and gone, that's all mine.
And do you know what? Someone just said
police still would have been contacted.
Yep, if they weren't arrested at the wedding, they would have just been arrested later.
Yeah.
But I am so glad they got arrested at the wedding. OP is a hero.
I think that just makes it better being arrested at the wedding.
So Adam cheated on his wife, stole her wedding dress and heirloom jewelry, and then passed them on to his new fiancé, who may or may not have known. All you did was alert the ex-wife. You didn't call the cops. She did, because she knew the background of him stealing from her and lying about it. I think it's pretty clear that Adam's the arsehole and possibly the police for the very severe way they handled this. Not the arsehole.
Yeah,
it's true. They probably could have weighed him.
They were deemed not the arsehole, weren't they?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's clear that Adam ruined his own wedding by committing a criminal act. Not the arsehole. Telling a theft victim you found their stolen goods is always the right thing to do. I'm so glad you did the right thing and didn't just keep quiet so as not to rock the boat. Crime and injustice should be dealt with, not ignored.
It's a pretty straightforward story, this, I think.
It is. It is.
It's the heading sounds funnier than what the story actually is, I reckon. But
Someone's like, turns out they moved in together, and wouldn't you know it, he already had her dream dress picked out.
yeah, because he stole it.
I'm guessing sloppy seconds was the wedding theme.
Oh, God. She had a few seconds, didn't she?
Yeah, so the cheating, stealing, and hubris to show off the stolen items at his wedding, only for all of it to come crashing down so spectacularly. Just beautiful. Not the arsehole.
No, not the arsehole.
So I think she's not the arsehole.
Yeah. No,
She's just the lucky one that got away.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to deal with him anymore.
Yeah, I think the co-worker did the right thing by just sending a phone. Oh, it's nothing. Usually that'd be a pretty harmless thing.
Blessing in disguise that he cheated on her.
Yeah, because he sounds like a piece of work. I tell you
Yeah.
what, he really does. Yeah.
Anyway, we've had some good stories today. I reckon. Tonight, I reckon. You can see that.
Co-workers are
co-workers are arseholes. Keep an eye on them sneaky and quiet ones, I think.
Yeah, watch your back.
Yeah, watch your back.
Watch your back in the workplace.
Got some good ones there. Anyway.
Yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yeah, and share our story. And I hope you'll enjoy our channel. And we'll see you in our next Reddit.
Yeah. Gotta figure out what we're going to do next.
Got some doozies coming up, I think.
Yeah, more co-workers.
Yeah, I reckon we could do a part 2, 3, or 4 of them.
No, well, by the looks of it, yeah, we could do a few parts.
All right, see you next time.
See you guys.